Hi, it is iYikKam time again. So today is June 12, 2016, and today I like to release the 6.13.3S version. So S stands for scientific, or you can call it Silicon Valley, because Silicon Valley in this era is the capital of technology in the world. Okay, so 6.13.3 is the common denominator or the platform of ancient Chinese martial arts. Nothing go outside this 6.13.3. Only it go deeper at each of the 6.13.3 elements, but it never go out of the boundary of 6.13.3. Now the 6.13.3S is a version such that we now map the 6.13.3 into a scientific or Western science. Here on, there should no more myth. Everything should be able to handle with scientific. Whatever the ancient Chinese internal art content or elements should be able to verify, identify, observe in a scientific way. Okay, so here I like to present to you in details on this 6.13.3. 6 is the 6th core element. 13 is the 13th state, which is one need to know in order to handle the first 4 core elements. The 3 is the law of physics, biomechanics, and then the yellow emperor classics, which is the Chinese core of the medicines or internal arts. Now, the 6.13.3S, I am mapping them to today's language and today's scientific elements. So let's go. First one of the 6 core element is the physical element. The second is the mind element. The third one is the breathing element. The fourth one is the qi flow element in Chinese. Okay, and now we're going to map it into blood circulations element, because qi in Chinese, in even the yellow emperor classics, it just means the energy which is supporting the flow of the blood. That is what it is. That's how clear it is. Okay, so in the 6.13.3S, instead of talking about qi, where energy stuff can be very fuzzy, we talk about blood flow or blood circulations, which can be tested in the lab. Okay, scientifically. The 5th element is the strength. The 6th element is the momentum. With the first 4 core elements, the body, physical element, the mind, the breathing, and the blood circulation as the body of the art. It's like the engine. With the strength and the momentum as the applications. In martial art, that is where one uses it for action. So let's go through the 6 core elements in details, so you can see here from today. You can take any internal art or any Chinese internal art document and so forth. You convert it this way into 6.13.3S. Then you see what it is. There is no fuzzy, no myth, and it can be realize or implement, because only that way it is meaningful. We don't want to think about something which is non-exist in this world. Okay, so this is the 613.3s. Okay, now the first core element is the physical element. In Chinese, there are different models or different way of express it, but when we map into the scientific way, we map into two things. One is the skeleton system of the body. The second is the tendon muscle system of the human body. So when we talk about physical element, the ancient Chinese might use different model. It never go out of the range of the skeleton system and the muscle tendon system. Let me make an example. What do I mean by skeleton system and muscle tendon system? Okay, so if we do an air squat or squat down like that, we are actually handling the skeleton system and the joints and the spine. Also, when we do squat there, the tendon muscle system on the back and all this related muscle to the limb activate with it. So that is what it is, as simple as this. Okay, the skeleton system and the muscle tendon system. Disregard of ancient or modern, it never get away from or get out from this muscle, tendon, bone domain. The ancient Chinese said externally train the tendon, muscle and bone. That's what it is. Muscle, tendon system and skeleton system. So in the physical element, one need to be able to handle it properly. For example, one can stand in this iYikKam as long as they like for the lifetime. If one cannot handle efficiently and effectively to do an air squat, that just tell one do not know how to handle the muscular tendon system and the skeleton system. That's how clear it is. We can bring to the lab to see whether one be able to handle this thing or not, which is the muscular tendon system and the skeleton system, the human body. That is the first core element. Of course, there's details I can go through, but this gives you a view clearly what is this. The second is the mind element. The mind element consists of thinking, visualization, intent, and when you drop the thinking, visualizations, and intent, you get into awareness. There are four functions there. One need to be able to switch, and there are states of stability, okay, which is one need to experience. This thing also can be mapped into today's scientific research or scientific expressions, which can be realized, because all these things can be observed and checked and verified with the brain wave, where one can know it is the alpha, beta, delta, so forth, or the combinations. So this can be checked in the lab. Okay, it is fully scientific. Whether one be able to get into the silence state or the quiet state or the peaceful state or the mind state, one can hook up the sensor to check the brain wave, whether one have that skill or one simply have no handling of it. This is very important because this is a mind which is control the body or manage the body. And when people talk about techniques or stand under pressure test, without this type of scientific study, we really don't know what it is. But right now, we do not need any mysterious thing anymore. It is as clear as that. Hook up, you can see is delta, or it is alpha, it is beta, and you know, can you take it? Or do you have the skill? That is the second element, the mind element. So now we know in the scientific way, under Western scientific, what it is. The third one is the breathing. You have the full body breathing, the chest breathing, panting, and so forth. In the Western way, we know that is the respiratory system, respiration system, with the handling of the diaphragm, because diaphragm play a big role. If this diaphragm is not managed or handled or trained or let it be operate under natural situations, then breathing or respiratory system will not function properly. That is what the content of the breathing of the breathing element. And this can be checked, examined, observed, verified in the lab, scientific lab. Okay? Whether one have the breathing, lower abs, very big amplitude diaphragmatic breathing or not. How is the respiratory system? One can check that. It's no longer a myth. The fourth is the blood circulation systems. Okay? So we want to know that, and we need to know that qi or energy, which usually people talk about, is actually in the first order the energy which is supporting the blood flow. That's what the Chinese mean to the first order. And now we don't want to talk about qi, we get right away into the blood flow and see how good is the blood circulations. That can be tested. It is as simple as we know if we do a proper massage with a good blood circulations, the body is more effective with the transportations of the nutrient or handling. That is why the body need to be loose, in a loose state, so to promote the energy to support the blood. However, we don't want to talk about energy here. We want to get into the blood so that it can be tested in the lab, visualize, and we can actually examine and verify. So there is no myth of the qi. Okay, qi is just that. So anybody who know massage, be in the east or in the west, a proper massage help the blood flow. A stress, a tense, you stop the blood flow or you stagnated the blood flow. That is the handling of qi in the Chinese ancient culture. That's what it is. Nothing mysterious. You can test it in the lab. If you have some skill or anything, can you handle, control, or manage that blood circulation flow? As simple as that. So when the Chinese talk about the 12 meridians flow and the Ren and Du flow, is all boiled down to based on the blood circulations. That's simple, that's solid. This first four is the body of the art, according to the ancient Chinese categorizations. The next two, the strength and the momentum, is the applications of the art, because a martial arts bottom line is an exchanging of momentum, because it's a moving object. So in the core element of the strength, there are two types. Strength usually has two types. One is called body type. Body type is I move my body to hit something, strike something, or do something. I move my body. That is the first thing. The force flow type is without significantly move my body. The key is to deal with the force of the contact and within the body, dealing with the force or the pressure within the contact of body without moving this limb. When you move the body, it's called body type. When you don't move your body but you're dealing with the force handling of the body within the body and the coupling, that is the force flow type. Okay? So in the force flow type, in the, like for example in Wing Chun, when we talk about Q Sao, it is a body type. It is a limb versus limb. Even though this is a bridge, it's a contact of body to body type. Whereas when one uses force flow, it is no longer a Q Sao, because it is playing with Geng Lo. In Mandarin called Jing Lu, in the Cantonese called Geng Lo. In English it's a force flow path, because once at the contact, actually one is scanning the opponent's force flow path within his body, and the opponent is scanning my force flow path. That's different than this Q Sao or bridge, which is bridging two body type of art. So it is as clear as this. This again can be tested in the lab. It is a tangible stuff. This is the fifth element. The sixth element is momentum. We know momentum have a linear momentum and angular momentum. We need both of them, because we are human. We operate in this world. And we know that is the long range fighting momentum, or in the close body fighting momentum, which is this close. And we know the going along momentum or the horizontal in momentum, which is consists of the basic momentum of entering straight, go along, or go horizontally. There's a vertical or horizontal, XY. This is about momentum. So any internal art or martial art or ancient Chinese martial art, every of them, all of them is based on this 613-3. And now we can see what it is as it is in a comprehensive, systematic, scientific way, with our today's language and today's scientific way. That's what it is. There's nothing out of this domain. They only get deeper, but not out of this domain, because we are human living in the human world. Everything can be checked. The definitions of internal art is just an optimizations more than two of the six core elements. More than two of the six core elements. For example, we know when we breathe, inhale and exhale, this diaphragm is going up and down. We know our physical element have to deal with the skeleton system and muscular tendon system. When we merge that together to have optimizations to get effective and efficient use, that's called internal art. Okay, so for example, for this squat we are doing, as soon as I can handle my skeleton and tendon muscle group, and I synchronize it with my diaphragm, which is the respiratory system. When I exhale, that diaphragm come out and then jam the way, and everything's work nicely, smoothly together. That is internal art. That is what the Chinese call externally train the tendon, muscle, and bones. Internally train the breathing. That is the basic, and they both happen in the same time. It is not something which is you have the mind, you have the body, you have the breathing all scattering around, or we don't have this 6 core element, 613-3S, but you have this magic mind power. There's no such thing. Internal art is defined as an optimizations of 2 or more core elements in the force flow play. In the force flow play, force flow handling, it is an internal art because it has to deal with the optimize the muscle, tendon, skeleton system, the breathing, the blood flow system, and the action and reaction force, which is under the strength, under the force flow type of the system. So you have the physical element, the breathing element, the chi flow element, or the blood circulation element here in the 613S, and the force flow element. That is 4 elements there, which is deeper than just synchronize 2 elements. This is internal art. Okay? And finally, I hope that here on we mystify everything about internal. Do not use anything like terms like internal or such thing which is we have no idea what it is, and do not take any fuzzy stuff and like this mind power or whatever we have no understanding, and also lack of training in the skeleton systems or the muscle tendon systems as a full art. It is not. Unless it has 613S, it is incomplete. I don't design that. I don't set this rule because I'm no God. But this is what happened in the ancient Chinese martial arts, and it fit to today's scientific world. They are both the ancient Chinese and today's scientific or scientists actually talk the same thing, present the same thing but with different languages. Okay, so this is the 613-3S. This is for all Wing Chun Kung lineage and all Chinese internal martial arts. I make this video so that people 100 years or decades later or hundreds of years later can view exactly what I'm saying here. Today is a fusion of the East and West. It's the beginning. I am just a stepping stone. I only do what I can do so that you who come in the future can step on me and progress into future with better and more effective and more efficient. That is the goal. And finally, I like to explain you one thing with the 613-3S. lately they are in the forums, there are people posting this kind of stuff. You see all this arrow and so forth. For example, this arrow, you see how the handling the hip, and then how it just put down here that the knee has to be in this position, like a geometry or holding a structure, or this hip has to be handling this way. These are all erratic stuff. It is misleading. Okay, this is because one do not understand the 613.3s. For example, the knee, if we say the knee has to be aligned this way, that doesn't tell anything. In order to proper handling the knee, we know we need to go to the physical element. We know two things we need to handle. One is the skeleton system of the joint. The second is muscle tendon system. And if one do not know that, the showing that is not going to do anywhere, going to do anything or go anywhere. So the handling of the knee, as anybody who do air squat know, the knee is doing this thing. You don't want to twist it, and you don't want to put force on this hinge. It will break. So the place we handle is actually the muscle behind the knee. That is the key. Otherwise, damaging the knee. That's why it's misleading, just using a geometry, oversimplify the whole thing. Okay? And missing the most critical handling, which is the muscle tendon group or system behind the knee. That's why it's supposed to be. The second thing is this. By that photo or the picture, it shows that there is the arrow curved out this, and then they're going down that. That is ignoring the diaphragm movement, because at inhale, exhale, this hip have to support that for a proper human function, dynamic function. There is no way one to just twisting the whole thing like this thing, or anywhere tilt out this and doing those kind of stuff and holding down there to satisfy a dynamic nature breathing of the human beings. You tense it up, this part tense, the diaphragm is not going to move much, you're going to stress out there, and the respiratory system go. Okay? The second thing is, once one do that, because one hold on to this type of so-called structure, the body turn into like a rod or a statue with a dead handling on the force or the force which is connecting or placing on the top of the ground. And in this case, if this is turned like in that picture, one is going to fall backward because this is turning like that. One will not be able to handle the action and reaction on the body, reaction force in the body, the diaphragm, the skeleton system, the muscle system, the breathing system, and the blood flow system. How is that thing internal? It is not. It is just trying to solve something with some kinds of oversimplified thing with somebody's geometry idea, and then try to make claims which is non-exist in terms of scientific. So with this 613.3, anybody can take my video here and those type of a picture, going to the lab and verify it. There's no such thing as you have to hold this way, hold that way, because human body, in order to optimize the use, which is one needed in the martial art operations, handling momentum and force, need that. It's not standing down there and actually not even training or developing the tender muscle group, the breathing, and so forth. So this is for you today. Mark today as the first day of the history. Use it and you can see how your art in Wing Chun, your skill, improve overnight, because now we want to do things scientific. Got nothing to do with my lineage, whose lineage, but everybody improve. Got nothing to do with has to do in the ancient way or the modern way. We do it in a realistic human being world's way. And this is for you today.